is Percy Smith from Wolverhampton Music Service. This video is about how to approach improvising. You may find this video useful if you are completely new to improvising, or if you are already familiar but are looking for some guidance or ideas. In simple terms, improvising is the process of making something up without any preparation. However, in actual fact, most musical improvising comes with some sort of practice or background knowledge that informs the musician's thought process. Improvisation is most commonly associated with jazz styles of playing, but of course it can be found and used in lots of different settings. This video is going to focus on jazz styles. I'm going to use a 12-bar blues pattern to solo over today, but all of the ideas mentioned can be taken and applied to any piece, style or set of chord changes. Although this video is about playing, it's important that we know what we're going to be playing over before we start. So I'm going to begin by playing one chorus, which means one lot of the 12-bar structure of the backing track that we'll be using. This allows us to familiarise ourselves with the feel, tempo and sound of the chords that we are going to be playing over.
1, 2, 3, 4.
The track you just heard was from Jamie Aebersold's book called Blues in All Keys, which is one of many great improvising resources available. If you are completely new to improvising and haven't got any resources yet, you can speak to your teacher or look online for ideas. So often, the thing that stops people from trying improvisation is not knowing what to play. So we're going to set ourselves up with a set of notes which will guide us in making musical choices when we start to improvise. You will see on the screen the basic chord structure for the 12-bar blues written out. This version is transposed for the E-flat alto saxophone, which is what I'm playing today. However, you could transpose this to fit with any instrument if needed, by taking the chords in brackets, which are chords 1, 4 and 5, and putting them into any other key. Underneath each chord we have the chord tones written out. Chord tones refer to notes 1, 3, 5 and 7 from the chord. Because these are the notes which define each chord, they are a good starting point when improvising. Here's an exercise you can try to start improvising using just chord tones. Try improvising over a whole chorus using just one of the chord tones, for example, always playing note 1 or note 3. If you want to challenge yourself, you can expand on this by changing the rhythms you play on the notes, trying more than one chord tone per bar, or maybe playing up and down the chord tones like an arpeggio. Here's a demonstration of some of these ideas.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Done this before, I would recommend spending a while trying this exercise, varying it in as many ways as you feel comfortable. Some players like to memorise the chord tones to help free them up when playing. You might want to try this too. If you are looking to expand the bank of notes that you use in your soloing, you can start to consider chord-scale relationships. All of the chords in our 12-bar blues pattern are 7th chords. Two scales that work really well over this type of chord are the MIXOLYDIAN scale and the BEBOP scale. Both scales are similar, but each has a slightly different sound. To create the MIXOLYDIAN scale for each chord, we take the major scale of the chord's tonic and apply a flattened 7th. For example, if the chord is G7, we take a G major scale and flatten the 7th, turning the F sharp into an F natural. You'll see the 3 MIXOLYDIAN scales for this key written out on the screen now. To demonstrate how these scales sound, I'm going to play one chorus using only the MIXOLYDIAN scale.
3, 4.
MIXOLYDIAN scale and add back in the major seventh as well, creating a chromatic movement at the top of the scale. You'll see the bebop scales for all three chords on the screen now. To demonstrate the difference between these two scales, I'm going to now play one chorus using only the bebop scale.
2, 3, 4.
If you're new to incorporating scale patterns into your solos, I would suggest trying this exercise yourself, playing one scale or a mix of the scales over the chord structure. You could copy me and play the scale simply, playing the ascending then the descending versions over the 12-bar pattern, or you could take small sections of the scale, for example only using notes 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. See how many ways you can make it sound interesting. You might find that you start to come up with lots of your own ideas, all of which are helping you to form your vocabulary of soloing patterns. Once you have become comfortable developing solo ideas using chord tones and scale patterns, you might find it useful to consider how to structure your ideas in a musical way. There is no strict right or wrong in how you structure a solo, but in simple terms, you might want to think of it as having a beginning, a middle and an end. Here's an example of how you might structure your solo in this way over just 12 bars.
2, 3, 4.
Don't forget, you could easily expand the way you use this structure, spreading it out over maybe 3 choruses instead of 3 lines of music. If you are a more advanced player looking to really challenge yourself and develop more technical or harmonically interesting patterns in your solos, you may want to consider transcribing. Transcribing is a process through which you notate what someone else has played. Before you consider transcribing, it's important to do lots of listening, both to people playing your own instrument and other instruments too. Once you find a player, or players, you really like to listen to, you might start to hear phrases within their playing which you really want to play as well. From there, you can work by ear to try and work out how they have played their pattern, and then start to use it in your own playing. If you're stuck for ideas of who to listen to or how to transcribe, then you can speak to your teacher for more ideas. Thank you for watching. Come back again to see the videos we will be releasing to support you at home. If you've enjoyed this video, please like it and subscribe to the channel.